1995. What an incredible year for pop culture. The year that we saw the releases of various classic movies such as Clueless, Braveheart, Seven, Heat, Friday, Toy Story, Before Sunrise, The Usual Suspects, and even La Haine. However, when it came to taking a deeper look at the music side of things, I was so blown away for how many classic records that were released this year. There was Tupac's Me Against the World, The Smashing Pumpkins' Melancholy and the Infinite Sadness, Björk's Post, Mobb Deep's The Infamous, No Doubt's Tragic Kingdom, Oasis' What's the Story Morning Glory, GZA's Liquid Swords, Mariah Carey's Daydream, and even The Bends by Radiohead. All of those albums are classics in their own right, but if there's one that sticks out to me the most, it's Alanis Morissette's Jagged Little Pill. Jagged Little Pill has been widely considered to be a landmark album in the alternative rock genre and a masterful example of confessional songwriting. Music critics and fans have praised the album for its honesty, vulnerability, and the vocal performance from Canadian singer-songwriter Alanis Morissette, who was only 21 at the time when this album came out. I remember always listening to Alanis Morissette's Ironic all the time growing up as a kid, but I never really got to listen to the full album of Jagged Little Pill until I got out of high school, because that's when my music taste really started to get stronger and stronger. From there, I started to go on a spree of listening to classic albums that I've never listened to before. And once I came across Jagged Little Pill, I was genuinely surprised that it would instantly become one of my favorite albums of all time, because it just spoke to me in a lot of ways that I could relate to. And although it's an album that's mostly tackled for the female demographic, there's nothing wrong with a guy like me always, tackling his feminine side, if you know what I mean. And I remember just listening to it over and over and over again, and it makes so much sense of why the people absolutely adore this record, as it feels like the type of drug that just makes you want to come back for more and more and more and more, as it's a perfect record that's just all hits and no misses. In honor of celebrating the 30th anniversary of Jagged Little Pill, I'll be explaining why the album has remained a beloved classic for the past 30 years. So without further ado, let's break it down. One of the main reasons why Jagged Little Pill has sustained its relevancy for so long is mainly due to the relatable themes it explores. On paper, it's an album that felt like Alanis Morissette's debut record, but believe it or not, it wasn't. Years prior, before this album was released, Alanis Morissette was best known for her dance pop style and her music with albums like Alanis and Now Is the Time. While sure, both records weren't particularly successful, you could just tell that Morissette was just a young and up-and-coming artist who was hungry, as both records laid down the groundwork for her artistic evolution, with grunge and alternative rock rising in popularity. Alanis was very eager to go for a different approach in her music, breaking away from her dance pop style. However, MCA Records weren't really too pleased with Alanis's new musical direction that she was going for, and after her 2-album deal was complete, she was dropped by the record label. After being dropped by MCA Records, Alanis decided to move from Ottawa, Ontario, Canada to Los Angeles, California, where she would meet songwriter and record producer Glenn Ballard, who saw so much potential in her. After their first meeting, it led to not only a lifelong creative partnership, but also a friendship that was both spontaneous and prolific. After Morissette and Ballard finished all the recordings for Jagged Little Pill, they presented the album to almost every record label they could approach, only to be rejected by all of them, apart from Maverick Records, which was co-founded by Madonna. Morissette was immediately signed to Maverick Records, as Madonna was highly impressed with her talents after listening to her demo tape that was presented to her by talent manager Guy Osprey.
How did you discover Alanis, for instance?
I didn't discover her. My partner, Guy Osiri, I don't know, he got a tape from a friend of a friend of a friend. It was one of those situations, and it was a demo with a lot of the songs from the first album on it, and we heard it, and we were just blown away immediately by A, her songwriting skills, and B, her voice. And then we met her, and she was so young, and yet she was so mature for her age. So we knew right away that she was going to do well.
And she's going to be a star.
Yep.
We hope to see you at the show sometimes if you want to. And is there anything you want to say to Alanis? She's watching.
Good luck, baby. Sell some records.
Pairing up with Glenn Ballard was definitely the best thing to ever happen to Alanis Morissette, as he not only played a pivotal role in shaping the album's unique sound, but also the lyrical content as well. What made Jagged Little Pill such an ambitious record is mainly due to the way how Morissette and Ballard tapped into the greater spectrum of the emotional psyche here with depth, nuance, and catharsis. The album was marked by intense personal and creative struggles, reflecting on the tumultuous experiences and the emotional state of Alanis Morissette. Morissette's lyrics resonated with audiences, particularly to young women who identified with her emotions emotions and experiences because it's so honest and how it unflinchingly explores common emotions that many people might feel ashamed to express. And Morissette empowered women to express themselves authentically once the album was released. Plus, Jagged Little Pill also tackles various themes such as relationships, the search for identity, societal expectations, jealousy, and the challenges of navigating life's ups and downs, making the album highly relatable. The result was a deeply personal record like Jagged Little Pill that resonated with so many people, reflecting on the universal themes such as heartbreak, frustration, and self-discovery. Alanis Morissette's music and persona really helped shape the feminist movement of the 90s, promoting self-empowerment and solidified her legacy as a feminist icon. When Jagged Little Pill was released on June 13, 1995, it became an instant sensation, garnering critical and commercial success, debuting at the top of the Billboard 200, and spawned not one, not two, not three, not four, not five, but 6 hit singles. The album spent over a year at the #1 spot of the Billboard 200 and received widespread acclaim for its fearless approach to songwriting and its impact on the alternative rock movement. As a result, Alanis Morissette's career was catapulted to new heights as she became the forefront of mainstream music, cementing her place as a powerful voice of a generation. The success of Jagged Little Pill was so astronomical that it would receive 5 awards at the 1996 Grammys, including Album of the Year, and sold over 33 million records worldwide, making it one of the best-selling albums ever. Jagged Little Pill's success also led into a successful 2018 Broadway musical adaptation and received 2 Tony Awards. The permanent mark that Jagged Little Pill has left on the music industry and pop culture as a whole has been beyond extraordinary. You can really tell the way how Alanis Morissette's impact on today's music landscape is so inescapable, most specifically for women who have considered this album to be like their personal Bible. Morissette's success with Jagged Little Pill has often been considered to be the catalyst of paving the way in introducing a legion of female pop rock singers such as Fiona Apple, Shakira, Michelle Branch, Pink, and Avril Lavigne. Most of these high-profile female artists have expressed how much they adore this record, citing it as a major influence in all of their careers, with Katy Perry calling the album, and I quote, the most perfect female record ever made. You've had Kelly Clarkson, who has always been outspoken of how much she was inspired by Alanis Morissette and by Jagged Little Pill, as she has stated that Jagged Little Pill not only made her a better writer, but also a better singer. And as for Olivia Rodrigo, she's definitely been the most outspoken of how much she was influenced by Morissette, as she made the statement by saying, and I quote, my life was completely changed after hearing Jagged Little Pill. You can really tell that Olivia Rodrigo's debut record Sour was clearly inspired by Jagged Little Pill, as the album explores similar themes such as heartache and failed relationships. On top of all that, if you check out the music video to Olivia Rodrigo's hit song Get Him Back, you can tell it's a clear reflection of Alanis Morissette's monster hit single Ironic, as she's clearly paying homage to the Canadian icon.
We have something else in common too. So I recently got to sing with Alanis, who's one of my heroes.
Mine too.
I'm so proud of you because you're 20. So I'm like, I'm sure someone has it somewhere. But when Sour came out, I was like, oh, this chick is like the new Alanis. Like for her generation, you're Alanis for your generation. Like it's like, it was that kind of impact of the record. And you're young to be a fan of hers.
Oh my gosh, I love her.
Do you have the coolest mom ever or something?
I do have the coolest mom
Okay.
ever. I feel like your kids probably say the same
I was
about
gonna
you.
say, I don't know, they do right now. They're getting close to being over me, but yes.
They'll come back around.
But I do try and slide really good music in.
Yeah, I bet.
Is that how you know Alanis?
I think so. I mean, I remember hearing like You Ought to Know on the radio when I was like 12 years old and being like, what is this? Oh my God, she can say that line about the theater. Like,
exactly.
What?
Yeah.
That's insane.
Me too.
And so just, I fell in love with her. And yeah, it was so nice. I sang a song with her at one of my concerts saying,
You sang You Ought to Know.
Which is crazy. Can you believe that?
I got to do it on this show and I died.
Oh my God, it's insane.
Yeah.
I was like,
she's the reason why I'm a writer.
Yeah.
Like I'm a singer for many different artists, including her, but like she is one of the main reasons why I'm a songwriter. Because I was like, oh man, I can funnel this. And it was so helpful. Like you don't realize the impact, you know, you make as an artist on people, and she just impacted so many.
Completely.
Yeah, for different generations.
Yeah.
In conclusion, Alanis Morissette's Jagged Little Pill is an undisputed classic, a record that's all about self-discovery and, you know, just speaking your truth. The phrase Jagged Little Pill itself is a metaphor for a hard truth to swallow, symbolizing the devastating and the difficult experiences that can shape our lives. The way how Alanis Morissette used this phrase in her album title has been interpreted in various ways, including as a reference of the complex complexities of relationships and the challenges of adolescence. It's a record that has resonated with people for the past 30 years and most likely will still resonate with listeners for another 30 years, which is why it is and will forever be an all-time classic. Because if you don't know...